What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Friday edition of our bi-weekly live streams where we bring you the latest and greatest from the top charts in Web3, as well as covering a little bit of TradFi markets. Try to give you some of the top news stories, bring you some of the latest and top deals we've got on OTC and M&A. Joining me once again, back in proper time, we've got Jan, and as always, the one and only Simple Jack, aka Andrew the Chartmaster. What's going on, gents?
Howdy, guys.
Bro, I'm so happy to be back in Bali. Oh my God.
Why is that?
I don't know. Looking at Europe is very nice, but winter is coming. I don't know. Feel very good.
I don't know. Looking at Europe, you got a little echo coming from your end, I think, there, Jan.
Oh, wow. 1 second.
Or like a little delay there.
That might have been me. Sorry. That was probably me. Right. I had the Telegram broadcasting same time, so.
Okay.
That might have been me. Sorry. That was probably me. I had the Telegram was another one.
This is going great.
Whoops. Did I end it?
No, I think it's still.
Telegram chat's still going there?
Yeah, it says the video chat's still there.
All right, sweet. We got it. So we're trying something a little new today. Not only are we streaming on YouTube and Twitter X as normal, but we've got the Tier 5 chat is running live. We've got the video going in there too. Shout out to all the Tier 5 members. If you want to find out more, it's kind of our inside alpha group. Lots of great crypto OGs in the space there. Good place to learn, good place to get alpha. If you want to find out more about how to get in there, you go ahead and just ping one of us on Telegram, pick up a little ACQ token, bada bing, bada boom, you're in. So what's going on today, gents? What do we got in the markets here, Andrew?
Yeah, I mean, I guess today, the big thing is the econs coming out tonight. We got the non-farm payrolls and unemployment rate. These are going to be pretty important towards kind of the Fed rate's decision coming up kind of pretty much in like 2 weeks. So based on how these numbers come out today, we should expect to see some fireworks. Obviously, if it comes out bullishly, then market should be up. If it doesn't, or if it's neutral, then we might see a bit of a sell-off. But it seems like the market's trying to front run it right now, and it looks like insiders might know the results, so maybe that's why the markets are running. But besides that, next week we have core PPI and CPI and inflation rate coming out, and then the following week is the FOMC decision. So for the next couple of weeks here, it's going to be pretty volatile and based on the econs. So we'll see how things come out, but so far right now, it seems like the rate cut chances are pretty high. So the market is trying to price it in, and you can kind of see that with like equities right now. As you can see, we are approaching all-time highs again. We are putting in these double bottom structures that I always like to talk about. And so generally when you see these double bottoms, pretty bullish, at least for me. We didn't lose these recent lows, which is also a good thing. I always like to talk about. So generally there. Double bottoms, pretty bullish, at least for me. We didn't lose me. Is that you? Who's that? A good thing.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's Nathan. I just muted your mic. Anyways, so I think right now like the market is trying to front run this like news release tonight, and as you can see, it is looking more and more bullish. W's usually mean breakouts. So the uptrend is still intact. Our moving averages held support, and we got these lows still holding here. So definitely looking a little bit more positive than earlier in the week. So going into this seems pretty bullish. I'm a little concerned this might be a bull trap. Who knows? But again, if everything comes out nicely, then we should kind of continue on higher here. So let's see.
I don't know. I've seen the ETF flows lately be pretty bad, both on Ethereum and BTC.
Yeah, I've heard that too. But when I look at the charts, they're holding. Bitcoin had a really nice bounce. We talked about this long reload zone on Bitcoin. I mentioned in my groups and in our tier 5 chat that, like, hey, look, once we're in these green boxes, generally when you want to start looking for longs, and as you can see, we tagged it, we bounced out, we even got a bullish divergence to back it up. We even had oversold conditions. So pretty much all three conditions of a full setup was kind of met, besides, I guess, structure. Like, you could have maybe tried to play this, but if we go on a line chart, it's not quite a W. It's kind of more of a V bottom. So generally, when you're looking at double bottoms, the left leg is always lower than the right leg. As you can see here, the left leg is higher than the right leg, which usually indicates V bottom. V bottoms generally need to be retested, but as you can see right now, it's just kind of up and away. I was talking to my trading mentor earlier in the year, or in the week, and he thinks like it's going to be pretty ugly price action in terms of like we might not get these pretty double bottoms that we're trying to look for, just because I think a lot of people are kind of hunting them again. But if you're a levels guy and momentum wise and all these things, like you probably could have tried taken a trade there, but now we just have to watch and see how this resolves. We are approaching 38.2s. This is generally your first stops, whether it be your supports or resistance in whichever direction. If we come back up and tag 38.2 and we fail against it, then that's probably going to indicate more of a dead cat bounce. But if this uptrend is strong and like the data prints come in pretty good today, then we might see some bigger price action. And then
aren't you're not waiting for a negative result today?
We'll see.
I'm kind of negative. I'm seeing so many rumors about the numbers being very bad, and then the currencies, both fiat, both the Canadian, US, are taking a very big hit.
It's getting wrecked. Sucks to be a Canadian right now, but yeah, I mean, rumors are rumors. At the end of the day, like I just kind of follow the price charts for now. To me, it seems like momentum wants to go up, and that's why we're seeing a lot of price action moving up right now. And I don't see any signs of it to be like stopped just yet. Like I said, these 38.2s is kind of where I'm first looking for resistance. And whether we get that tag going into the event and then we sell off right after, because like I said, this could be a bull trap. We don't know until 7:30 tonight. So we just have to wait and see how things go. But for me personally, the trade was down here right at that 61.8, right as these bull days were coming in. Here, obviously, too late, too long or anything. I don't really see any short setups just yet as well, at least until we touch these 30 SMA, which is this purple line. Maybe you can kind of consider, some profit taking or some shorts there. But right here, right now, I think we just kind of let the price do its thing, let the market play out. And yeah, things are looking decent, not as overly bearish as some people are. But moving on to ETH, ETH is also looking a little bit decent. We had this really nice breakout the other day. So I was like, okay, sweet. We're resolving to the bull side, breaking out of the moving average squeeze. And then we just kind of got a big sell off yesterday. So maybe it was some little de-risking because, again, today is the econs. So maybe there was people were kind of spooked or whatnot. But we didn't lose these lows right here. So, not losing these lows is pretty critical, just because it would confirm this pretty big triple top. Those are definitely not a bullish structure. But if we can bounce back up here and break above these highs, then we can potentially be putting in a double bottom here, which is ideally what we want to see. And then hopefully the moving averages will pretty much swap over, and then we can kind of get back onto this uptrend. Technically, we're still in this uptrend until we lose this low here. So there is still some breathing room. Momentum-wise, there's no divs or anything like that just yet. If anything, we're still kind of facing this bearish div that we got going here. And we're not quite oversold yet. There's still quite a bit of room for more selling if there is going to be more selling. So ETH is in kind of a tricky spot here. Don't really know which way to go here. I just know that if we lose these lows, it can look pretty ugly. If we break these highs, then things are going to look better. So this is kind of the little tight range that I'm seeing for ETH right now. Yeah. But if you go in the smaller time frame, you can see you can look at the reload zones. You got some W's working here, got some M's starting to come back in. So, if we start getting more consolidations on these lower time frame charts, then we can possibly see a bit of a turn back here. But we'll see.
But to be honest, I've been very glad that we've been between 4,000 and 5,000 range for a while. I think this is the same thing that BTC was doing before Trump got elected. It was between 60 to 75K for a while, and then it started rocketing.
Right. Yeah, I mean, the longer the consolidations, the better for support and structure. Ideally, that's kind of what we want to see. It's just we just don't want new lows constantly being printed and breaking through. Which right now ETH is like I said, it's holding pretty decently right now. Again, if we can just get above these highs, then pretty much back to the bull case for me. And then we'll see the alts and everything kind of start running harder and stuff. But right now it's Bitcoin is doing its little bounce, whether it be a dead cat bounce or this is the actual bottom here. Don't know, but I do like the momentum signs right now for Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin looks a lot better than ETH for now, but yeah, I mean, I haven't looked at ETH Bitcoin in a minute, so let's see how that looks.
We got more downside to go on Bitcoin, boys. I'm thinking mid October is when we want to start buying. Between now and then is going to be pretty gnarly.
I'm just gonna DCA, man. So easy. Just DCA for 5 years, and you will be up 2x, 3x.
Yeah, but you also want to buy at good levels, right? You don't want to just buy blindly at if you just buy these reload zones that I talk about, you're probably going to do pretty well. And as you can see, the market's
Michael Taylor approach
right off it. So yeah. So when I look at altcoins,
like Nathan was saying.
Well, you guys both
buy every local top.
Oh God.
The Michael Saylor approach: how to buy every local top.
Wow. But yeah, so looking over at alts, we are starting to see some rallies coming back. If we can start getting these W's starting to come back in and these, alt indexes, it's getting very close, then we should see some sparks in these altcoins here. As you can see, stablecoin dominance is putting in an M. So money flow is coming back into crypto, whether it be Bitcoin or altcoins. So that's why today I actually did pick up some things. I might be shooting myself in the foot, buying stuff just a little bit too ahead of this event, but I am liking some of the charts and kind of bored just sitting. So took some shots. If you look at a lot of the coins, we've just been ranging sideways, slowly bleeding to the downside. But we're also coming into reload zones and ranges on a lot of these names. And if you're able to catch these little double bottoms that come in, then those are probably going to be decent trades for swing trades. I don't know if we're going to be able to hit doubles. I think we'll probably be able to get maybe 2 to 1s perhaps. But again, we have 3 major econ events coming up, right? So we got this tonight, we got CPI, PPI next week, and then we got FOMC. So if all of these come out bullish for us, then yes, we can see a pretty big run come in, and then maybe we break that curse of a horrible September, October. But yeah, I mean, who knows? But looking at charts, some altcoins that I picked up today, I did pick up some syrup. This is kind of what we call the bot setup. It's a play on a harmonic AB equals CD pattern. If you don't know what those are, you can find those on Google, what harmonic patterns are. They're pretty well known. And essentially what we're doing is we're kind of front running the move, where instead of at the end of the move, you're supposed to short it. We're going to try to ride the long of that C to D leg. I like syrup. Syrup I've done very well. You know, I've already hit my 3x on it. Was able to buy the bottom there. And I just want to add to this trade because, like, again, I think this is a pretty decent trade. You know, a little bit aggressive here, but I do like we got some bullish divs coming in. You know, we were oversold just a minute ago over there. You know, we got these pretty wide double bottoms, you know, weekly double bottoms almost coming in. And I generally really like trading weekly W's. Those generally when you get these kind of bullish trend signals. So that's one trade that I'm looking at. And, you know, my end of target's going to be a double anyways. So and that'll be nice because that'll also be around 6x for the first trade that I got in there. So accumulating, compounding, stacking. That's the aim of the game here. Another trade, Sui. I think I did pick up some here. This one I'm definitely front running it pretty aggressive, but I like the potential bull dips that are coming in. We are oversold. We're at 38.2. So when you're at these 38.2s, you can kind of like start looking at these like trend continuation type setups, which is essentially the bot is what you know, on syrup. But we're very early, right? Generally with the bot setups, you want to have at least like 1, 2, 3 lows to defend against, but being a little bit aggressive here because I'm betting on like the econs to come out bullish tonight, and then generally when you get those, you get a pretty big pop, and then if you're leverage trading, you can get some pretty big swings and quick cash outs. So doing a simple 2-to-1 for now, where I'll do some partial takes, profits there. So we'll see how that goes. I think Rune is another one that I kind of liked. Again, we were quite oversold, right against the 78.6. We got potential double bottoms coming in. I am front running it slightly, which isn't always recommended, but yeah, sometimes, you know, sometimes I do bend my own rules, and, you know, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So, but I do like how things are looking currently. And yeah, just added to my position here. As you can see, I try to buy this W here. Just been sitting in it for months now. So just, you know, reloading, dollar cost averaging, finding setups to add to. And yeah, we'll see how that one goes there. Aerodrome is another one that I did add to as well. I like the Aerodrome just because I've done very well on Aerodrome this entire cycle. Can't find a full chart, can I? Like, you know, this is probably like yeah, like I'm very close to like trying to hit 100x on this. So I've already hit 60x on it. I already hit a double on this trade. I already hit a double on this trade. I already hit a double on this trade. And a double on this trade. So that's like, you know, like 5 times in a row. But I just like the play. I like that 38.2. It's holding. We got potential double bottoms here. Momentum wise, probably not the best in the sense that we never really hit oversold and like bullish divs on the daily. But if we go on the 4-hour, like we do have double bottoms here right now. We do have bullish divergences. We did hit oversold conditions multiple times. So again, if everything starts rallying, then I don't see why this can't rally either. And I'm just going to do a quick little 2-to-1 swing trade here. And the risk is low on a lot of these swing trades that I'm playing here. So it's just like quick trade in and out. And yeah. And I think that was it. Just and yeah. Pump is one trade that really sucks for us because like I pretty much bought the bottom and then I got stopped out on this like sell off. So like sometimes your stop to scratch level can screw you over, but a lot of times it does protect you. But in this case, it did kind of suck because like as you can see, we're now rallying up and away, breaking to new highs, confirming a weekly.
Oh, we basically bought at the bottom. We had the perfect situation. We had the perfect trade. Like, but I told you guys like before, like when we dropped to the all-time low, I told you like Pump, they have $1 billion in their treasury. They're doing $2 million now per day, and they're basically doing buybacks. Like, pretty bullish, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean the setup was there too, and I was just like, man, like that's the one thing I'm pretty good at is like finding bottoms. But sometimes I get spooked out, And that definitely costed me a decent trade there. But yeah, it's just how things go. There's going to be another good trade. Next time, next bus in 10 minutes is what my trading teacher used to always say. So, it definitely sucks. But again, you're going to see a lot of other trades. Our maker swing trade that we talked about on Tuesday is still chugging along. It's doing decent. Again, this is kind of, you get the bullish divergence, you get the oversold conditions, you get the double bottoms. This wasn't really in the best location, but I just, again, it had at least some of the conditions that I look for. And so I took the trade. And yeah.
Hey, how's our Bera trade going?
Bear chain is still active. Still nowhere as stop to scratch. I think it's just playing out the bearish divs right now and the double top. So if we do come back down into reload zones, then that is kind of where you can start looking for longs again. If we do hit my stop to scratch, then I probably will just end up closing it and then just waiting to see another new base like that start forming. But if we start printing W's here, then back to heading up higher, right? So we'll see. We'll see how that pans out. But yeah, I think that's it for me for charts. These are kind of all the things that I'm looking at right now. And yeah, fingers crossed that we get a bullish print tonight.
Not going to happen. I don't think so.
That's fine. I'm ready. I'm ready with my stops.
I'm ready for the shakeout whenever it comes. Start picking up some tasty discounts.
It's good. Yeah, I think just to remember, guys, like when there's negativity, when there's bearish sentiment, it's good to buy. Good time to buy. Like you don't want to buy when everyone is pumping like crazy. It doesn't really. It's not when you want to buy things.
Yeah.
You want to buy in the bear market when everything's on sale, and you can just forget about it.
Yes. Buy BTC and hold it for 5 years. You cannot lose.
Can't argue with that. Well, yeah, let's take a look here to get started. Before we hop into some news stories, we've got let's take a look this week first at a new deal that just hit the Acquire Fi platform here. This one is an interesting deal for a couple of reasons. First off, if you look there, over $1 million in revenue in 2024, and very, very high profit margins, 1.2 million revenue, almost 1.1 million in profit. So a very, very lean business. Kind of the downside with this one, it's in an industry that's been slower this year, hasn't booked any revenue for 2025 yet, but more than 700 token holders, 90% profit margins, crypto investment DAO and Launchpad. These guys have been around since I believe 2021. They've got over 4 years of revenue history, positive revenues and profits all the way up until this year here. Just has not been a great year for pre-sales and early stage investments. But needless to say, the token holder audience, very, very strong. Lots of crypto OGs in there, people with cash. So a lot of different ways this can be monetized. The founder is looking to move on to some different things, but still has obviously a very valuable community and priced very well. Asking only 2.3 million at this point here. So could be a great addition for funds out there, for existing DAOs, for launch pads, for accelerators. Anybody that has that access, that exposure to early stage projects or to existing revenue streams, you'd like to bring in high value token holders and potential investors into your ecosystem. This could be a fantastic dealer for you. If you want to find out, here we are, here are the revenue since 2020. You can see obviously varies a bit with the cycles, but 2021 massive end of the bull cycle there, 3 million in revenue. We would expect if 2025 picks up or even going into 2026, we would see, again, a big spike in our revenue for this year and early next year. So a lot of different opportunities here, a lot of different things you can monetize with this. If it's something you're interested in finding out more about, you can head over to the website acquire.fi, go into the M&A marketplace, you can make an offer just right on the website there. You can contact us via Telegram, shoot us a message on X. All of the above platforms work to get a hold of us there. But this deal and many, many more you can find on the website. We got our private book as well, some of our top deals in there. And we've got lots of great OTC offerings. And if you'd like to get yourself acquired, reach out as well. We're always looking for great new projects to chat with. Jan, Andrew, anything else you want to add to that one there?
Yeah, I just want to say, like, despite the launch pads, great. I'm always echoing. But yeah, like, despite the launch pads being very bad this year, I think it's going to eventually change. And here's my thesis. First of all, the IPO market this year has been very good. It means that if the IPOs have been very good, there's LPs that have gotten money back. And basically, that means also that the pre-revenue investments are going to go eventually up. So this is a cycle. It's always like this. When IPO market was bad for 2 years, it meant that, hey, LPs that were investing in all these pre-sales, they were not able to get any money. And the same thing is happening with tokens. Like, basically, if you did anything with pre-sales, you at least got 2 or 3x back. But unfortunately, this year has not been the case, but I think it's eventually going to come back. It will take a while, but eventually, I think next year or year after that, we're going to see some more movement in pre-sales again. I do think pre-sales will come back. Like, if you want to have an ecosystem that is running like crypto, you need to have risk investments, and risk investments are pre-sales. So.
Well, I think also something to take into account with these guys here. They're not a traditional launch pad in the sense of some of the big names you'd think of out there that have very high overheads. I mean, again, look at the revenue to profit. They're 90% profit, very, very, very low overhead with this launch pad and investment DAO. I think they're more on the investment DAO side of the launch pad. So they do have their own platform and tech where that makes it very easy for people to come on. But again, very, very low overhead. They don't have a huge staff. This is something that can be run with a very small team and be very, very profitable. So I think that's a huge advantage they have over a lot of these other launch pads out there right now, is that they're a little bit maybe non-traditional. Maybe they don't have some of the same revenue streams, whereas a lot of these more established launch pads, they have, marketing upsells that they do, and a lot of other revenue models, whereas these guys are a little more pure on the fee side for the money that they raise. Flip side of that is that very low overhead. So definitely a unique offering and a very interesting offering for people that are looking to bring on a very, very strong and high value community here. Cool. Let's check out some news stories. Obviously, a lot of doom and gloom going on in the markets. People very nervous what's going on in September. I think if you zoom out, though, and look at the big picture, gold blowing up, going to new all-time highs. Gold, obviously the biggest hedge against things like inflation, things like, a failing dollar. Meanwhile, in just 2 months, from July 2nd to August 26th, so not even quite 2 months, the U.S. racked up $1 trillion with a T in more debt in under 2 months. I mean, what else do you need to look at, right? Like, between this and this, like, that's all the TA, that's all the analysis you need to do. Go buy Bitcoin, right? Like, it doesn't matter what it does in September and October. Fast forward 5 years.
And remember, like, now it's the easiest time to buy gold. If you want to buy gold or like raw metals, all these RWAs, they're offering very good solution for this. And I think overall, like, hedging against the dollar is not bad at all. Like, if you look at what China and other countries are doing that were dependent on US dollars, they're basically dumping their dollars and buying gold. And that's why gold is going so much up. I think the dollar system is finally coming to an end. despite US would do whatever they want, it's just very hard to keep it floating anymore. Like,
Yeah, and it's not. I mean, it's not an easy chart to move. Like a lot of money has to come into gold to move it, right?
yeah,
Like it's 20,
yes,
24,
exactly.
yeah, $24.25 trillion for to even see this kind of a pump. Like literally, trillions of dollars are coming into this market right now. So, yeah, I mean, again, I think these two tweets right here paint a very, very good story of why we're bullish on Bitcoin, why we're bullish on this industry, why we think this is the smartest hedge against against the fiat currencies out there. And yeah, I understand a lot of the arguments against gold or for, people want gold versus Bitcoin or what, whatever it happens to be. Hold both, do whatever you want to do, but understand that the dollar is not the way. Personally, I'm going with Bitcoin. I'm going with crypto versus bars of rocks or of metal in my house that is relatively unusable. But that doesn't mean don't hold both, or you don't have to be a maxi for one or the other. But I think
diversify.
Yeah, the dollar ain't the way to go.
No, but imagine like how good trader or how much like APY you need to get a year to beat the inflation at this point. Like it's gonna be like 8 to 10% soon, probably even more. So how do you hedge against that? Yeah, easily Bitcoin and gold. But to be honest, Nathan, I absolutely do agree with you. Like if gold is pumping, BTC is gonna follow. So I remember when we were comparing gold market cap against BTC. Gold was $10 trillion back then. This was like 2 years ago? 2 years ago or something?
Let's see here.
I don't know.
I think it was 2 years ago. Yeah, for sure. Because
it wasn't that long ago.
The number was always $10 trillion. Gold is $10 trillion and BTC is only one, whatever. Like there's going to be a time when BTC is going to follow a lot. And it's just a matter of time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had it there.
Because like gold is generally a fear off asset, right? So generally when it's a fear off, then equities and crypto should not do well, and it should be inverse, where Bitcoin and crypto, they're actually risk on assets. They're not risk off, right? So it doesn't make sense for both of them to be rallying at the same time. If anything, it should be inverse.
Yeah, but I think that is changing. You have pension money now buying BTC. You have all the ETF. I do think for sure BTC is much more riskier still. If you don't want to have volatility in your bank account or in your trader account for 2 years, like for sure, like BTC will move much more. But in the long term, I think this is very good for BTC. Like obviously, you lose dollar value. That is the fact. Like we're printing more and more money, which means that your dollar is buying less and less and less.
Yeah, the dollar is definitely not a good bet.
So yeah, ChatGPT is giving me some numbers here. It was late 2019, early 2020. Gold was at a $10 trillion market cap. So we're talking 5 years ago. It has gone up. So we've seen a $10 trillion increase in the market cap of gold in just 5 years. That's a lot of money flowing into one asset. So when people talk about these wild numbers for Bitcoin going to 1 million or something like that, that's how it happens. $10 trillion flows in over 5 years. That would push, that would 5x. That would easily 5x Bitcoin, if not 10x it.
Yep. Just wait for the 70% drawdown first, and then buy.
Mm-hmm.
Or again,
here comes the theory again. Like gold was bearish for a while, like
20 years.
How long? Yeah,
20 years. People had to wait.
20 years. Imagine. And I know a lot of heavy gold users, like people that like are praying for gold. Like they would not sell their gold despite all the things. So imagine like that for BTC. It's the same thing. I mean, gold and BTC, we're going to be seeing pumping.
Yeah.
There's some good memes out there with the gold all-time highs and stuff.
Even
I
the
can't-
fact, like the biggest whales, we're talking about the Satoshi era whales, have started moving their BTC and selling them, and we can still be over 100K. That's pretty damn bullish, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like the amount of money and amount of selling that has been happening for the past, I don't know, 4 months, and we're still over 100K. Come on, guys! Like, if you guys are not bullish enough, and you guys not holding BTC, you guys have a mental problem. I don't know.
I don't
No, I
know.
agree.
I
I think
Gee.
I think Bitcoin does. You
Maybe
know,
that was evil. Maybe that was evil. But I'm just telling. I'm so fed up with this. Like,
I think this is a great future sign for what we can expect with Bitcoin. The only downside to gold pumping and going to new all-time highs, in my opinion, is that gold bugs and gold maxis are going to be even more insufferable than they normally are. And we're going to have to listen to their bullshit on crypto Twitter and everywhere else for however long this continues. So outside of that, I think this is great.
Mm-hmm. Look, it's just good to diversify, you know. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, is what they say.
absolutely. That's
No, don't
I
go
was
all in.
hardcore BTC and Moxie before, but nowadays I understand. Don't hold everything in one asset. Don't be like Young Yon.
Well, despite the ETF numbers, Ethereum Validator is doing a 180. I think it was maybe 2 weeks or a month ago. We discussed the story about there was almost
Exit. There was an exit queue.
Yeah, the exit queue on Ethereum was nearing $4 billion. Now we have the opposite. Now we're seeing an entry queue hits 2-year high with over 860,000 ETH, approximately $3.7 billion worth of ETH coming into staking. So, yeah, you can see the chart here, the big dip on the validator queue. In a little over a month, my, how things have changed. All the doom and gloom there has flipped to positive. Why are people staking? This is not, this means these are long-term holders, right? This is people that are big whales in Ethereum that are seeing what's going on, that are bullish. They're seeing that people are going to continue with these Ethereum strategic reserves, the MicroStrategy approaches to Ethereum. You've got Tom Lee and all these other guys out there which are trying to buy up as much of the supply as they can while the Ethereum Foundation dumps on their head. But nonetheless, I think this is even more bullish than seeing the crazy ETF numbers, because these people are stuck here. They're not there. Once you get in this staking, it's not like they're looking for a short flip. These are people that are bullish on, at minimum, the medium term, if not long-term range.
No, and I think like from institutional level, like getting yield on a hard asset like Ethereum, I think that's pretty good. Like, go and do that with gold. Again, it's very hard.
Well, and we're seeing more and more of a trend in digital gold, more and more gold being tokenized. I think that is going to be the best way in the future to get your hands on gold. Physical gold, it's extremely not only difficult to get your hands on, expensive, hard to custody. And what can you really do with it? Like, let's say the doomsday scenario plays out. Walk around shaving pieces off a bar of gold, like maybe some small coins or silver that can be applicable. But other than that, like, there's not a single category that Bitcoin doesn't, beat the brakes off of gold in that sense. Now, if you can have digital gold that can use blockchain rails, that makes a little more sense to me. So I think we're going to continue to see that trend of more and more. There's billions and billions of dollars in gold being digitized, brought onto chain for the obvious examples that we're seeing with Ethereum, with Bitcoin, and all the advantages that we have there. So going to be an interesting future. RWA is a massive, massive opportunity for blockchain.
Absolutely. I wish I could be build something.
Well,
this
we?
I think we're building something soon. I don't know.
Yeah, we might be. Well, secret. This is a pretty dope story that kind of circles back again to something we've been talking about for the last couple months. We're very quickly approaching the point where we have all kinds of new opportunities opening with Web3 assets, especially with Bitcoin. The idea of, being able to buy low, sell high is going away. Bitcoin is a hard asset, like being used like real estate or gold very soon. You're not going to need to sell your Bitcoin to capitalize on it. Great story here. Kyle Chase, very, very famous entrepreneur, investor in the Web3 space here, saying, in December 2022, he bought a $1.2 million villa in Thailand, but instead of selling his Bitcoin to buy that, he's borrowing against it. I think we talked a month or so ago about the ability to be able to use Bitcoin as an asset to get approved for home loans. It is being passed in various jurisdictions, including in the US. That's how the wealthy leverage their money. That's how they leverage their assets. The wealthy operate completely on debt financing. Thanks to the institutional adoption of Bitcoin, that's going to be possible for the crypto bros very soon. So the days of needing to sell your Bitcoin are quickly coming to an end. And think about what that does for the price of Bitcoin. Think about what it does when, these whales that are accumulating Bitcoin, when, even the smaller guys out there that have accumulated Bitcoin, they don't need to sell it to use it, to be able to get access to that money. They can go take loans out against it, to open a business, to buy a house, to buy more crypto, to do whatever. The stability that can provide to the market, we don't see these 70, 80% drops in the market price every single cycle. That's where that starts to flatten out there. So I think this is a great follow-up on the stories that we talked about a month ago here. Just showing, where this industry is moving towards.
Yeah, that's cool.
I was actually in Kyle's villa back in the days. It's in Phuket.
Yeah, a lot of
boxing, bro.
a lot of crypto homies.
I'm gonna dox Kyle now.
No, I think that's great. Like being able to borrow against your Bitcoin to actually buy real estate and then still be able to, earn the upside. The only thing is just be careful because on the downside of things can get pretty ugly.
Yeah, obviously can't be stupid.
Bitcoin does 70% drops every cycle. Every 4 years, it does a massive retracement. And during that fall, you better fucking have some cash ready because man.
Yeah, you better get your loan price pegged to the Bitcoin when it's at the bottom, not when it's already got that 70% drop. Don't be doing it during the bull market. This is the whole power of it. Now today he says the villa's worth $2 million and the 1.2 million in Bitcoin that he would have had to sell. So he still would, he would have had a net gain of 800K. Instead, now he's got 800K just in the house, and his Bitcoin is worth what? Almost 5x more, 4x.
Bro. But the thing is,
6x, 7x.
If he would have been smart, he would have borrowed against his villa and bought more BTC. Perfect.
Get the Michael Saylor loop going.
No, it's true. That would have been so much better.
And you have hard asset like a villa. It doesn't go up or down in price that much if you think about it.
It's good to have.
Still borrow against it.
It's good to have though. Having a hard asset is
no, absolutely.
At the end of the game, that's exactly what I'm doing with my money is to convert all this speculative money into hard assets and then diversify. So I think he made a right choice either way.
And you're buying champagne bottles in the bar is not diversifying, man.
Hard assets are good to have.
Well, sad news for everybody's favorite crypto individual, Mr. Justin Sun. Apparently, World Liberty Finance has blacklisted and frozen his wallet, freezing his access to the funds here. Taking to Twitter to write a big thread here. Apparently, he was one of the early investors in World Liberty Finance. Very famously, one of the top donators or biggest contributors to this, as well as the early Trump meme coin. Which got him a face-to-face private dinner with President Trump. Justin Sun, no stranger to the spotlight, no stranger to pull all kinds of antics to keep his name and Tron in the news. But now some of that backfiring, I don't know for what reason, but apparently he's blacklisted as some kind of scammer, not allowed to access his funds for World Liberty Finance. So we'll go, I guess, come full circle.
Bro, he went against the boss that you cannot hit. There's Justin, he can fuck out he can fuck a lot of people in crypto, but like if you go to TradFi and you go and fuck Trump's coin, no, you just don't do it. Don't even think about it. This was really stupid of him. I don't know.
So we'll see how that saga plays out. You know, he's had quite the lore to this point in his career. We'll see how this continues to play out. A new chapter in the ongoing Justin Sun lore here. Here at the post I was looking for his Justin Sun.
Come on, it's $100 million. Like, what are you thinking?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a
So
lot of money.
the spaceman himself. B. Justin Sun, spawned in China in 1990, graduate from Peking, harder to get into than Harvard. Found China's largest live chat app with 10 million users, become Jack Ma's golden boy, his protege, CCP. This guy is promoting porn, permaban. At 23, joins Ripple as C-suite to lead to its China's business. Launches Tron. China bans ICOs hours after a $70 million ICO. Fuck it, flees to the U.S. accused of plagiarizing Tron's white paper. Haters mad. Acquires large privacy software. BitTorrent slaps a token on it. BitTorrent, $4.5 million Warren Buffett charity launch, gets himself back in the news, gets diplomatic immunity. And this is just, again, on and on and on. I don't have to go through all of this, but the man's had an interesting and storied life. That's no doubt. But yes, barking up larger and larger trees here. We'll see how this one plays out. Obviously, some of these have worked out well for him. BitTorrent, Tron, obviously, have been very successful for him. The banana, not so successful. Maybe not the best investment. The Sundog and the other meme coins on Tron, not a great investment. But will this next World Liberty Finance scam pan out? I guess we will find out soon.
Wow, quite a history.
And so, yeah, this is a great little thread here by John Wang. So definitely encourage you to go check that out. Justin Sun is a wild man. But that's what I got for you, gents, today here. As far as the news goes,
that went really fast.
Yeah, well, we're almost 50 minutes into the live stream here today.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, guys, like if there's any tokens, if there's any ideas how we can make these live streams better, please message me, Andrew, or Nathan. I don't know what's the N words today.
Well, keep an eye on the charts this weekend. Sit on your hands if you don't know what you're doing. Be patient, and if you have questions, join Andrew's trade group, and then you can get the straight from the horse's mouth.
You want the sauce? Come and get it. Yeah, I mean, just watch for those econs tonight. Whatever happens in the market, probably wait at least an hour or two after the announcement, because usually that first hour is pretty screwy price action. Outside of that, make sure use your trading plans, make sure your trading setups, and don't risk all your eggs in one basket. So risk management is very important.
And subscribe, share. We really appreciate it. It does go a long ways to help out. Shout out to the 50 people tuned in today. Look forward to seeing you guys next Tuesday. Should have some get one step closer to the rate cuts, which I think at this point, with the job numbers that came out, with what's coming out this weekend here, we should have a pretty clear picture or pretty good idea on what's going to happen. Obviously, nothing's guaranteed, but take a look at that Tuesday and maybe give you some predictions on what we see happening with rate cuts.
Fingers crossed.
All right. Still then, stay safe out there. Wag me, baby.
Bye-bye.